My dear friends, let me begin with a simple question. Have you ever felt that life hit a reset button without asking you? One moment you're standing tall, and the next, everything you built, your plans, your dreams, your confidence, seems to fall apart. If you've ever felt that way, congratulations, because it means you are human. And today, let's talk about something powerful. How to rebuild your life in 2026 from zero. Starting from zero is often misunderstood as a sign of failure. But in reality, it is one of the most powerful positions a human being can stand in. Zero is not the end of your story. It is the clean canvas on which a stronger, clearer, and more refined version of your life can be painted. When everything is stripped away, your plans, your expectations, your comfort, and even your confidence, you are forced to confront the deepest truth about yourself, who you really are, without any labels, without any applause, and without any safety nets. This moment, although painful, is also liberating, because it reminds you that you have the rare opportunity to rebuild your life with intention, purpose, and clarity. Most people fear zero because they confuse it with worthlessness. But zero does not define your value, it simply defines your starting point. In mathematics, zero holds the unique ability to transform any number placed beside it. In life, it works the same way. When you stand at zero, anything you add, discipline, skills, knowledge, effort, multiplies. Zero gives you the mental and emotional space to rethink your direction without the weight of past mistakes dragging you backward. It frees you from the illusions you once held and invites you to rebuild from a place of authenticity rather than pressure. Think of zero as a reset, not a ruin. When a computer freezes, we don't throw it away, we restart it. When a phone slows down, we don't complain endlessly, we reset it to improve performance. Life does the same with us. When things stop moving, when circumstances feel stuck, when we fall into patterns that no longer help us grow, life sometimes pushes the reset button for us. It may feel uncomfortable, but it is not a punishment. It is preparation. It is life's way of cleansing the old to make space for the new. Standing at zero also teaches humility, which is one of the greatest strengths a human can develop. It reminds you that success is not guaranteed, but effort always matters. It shifts your focus from what you lost to what you can now gain. When everything is gone, distractions disappear, and what remains is clarity, the clarity to choose your path intentionally. Many people in history rebuilt their lives from zero and achieved greatness not because they had resources, but because they had resilience. They had the courage to look at zero and say, I will rise again. When life hits you hard, when setbacks seem unbearable, and when you feel like everything around you is collapsing, remember that zero is simply the point where your next chapter begins. It is a starting line, not a finish line. It offers you the freedom to create, to correct, and to reinvent. Zero allows you to rebuild with new wisdom, stronger boundaries, and a deeper understanding of yourself. And the beauty of starting from zero is that this time you are not building blindly. You are building with experience, lessons, and a renewed sense of direction. Instead of fearing zero, embrace it as the moment your life begins again. Embrace it as the moment where you regain control. Embrace it as the moment where you choose who you want to become. Because when everything falls apart, you don't lose your strength. You discover it. When you have nothing left to prove, you begin to understand what truly matters. And when you rebuild your life from zero, every small step becomes meaningful, every victory becomes personal, and every moment becomes a reminder that you were capable all along. Pain is often treated as an unwelcome guest, something we try to escape, hide from, or suppress. Yet, if you look closely at the moments that shaped you the most, you will notice something remarkable. It was not comfort that made you grow, it was adversity. Pain has a unique ability to expose your weaknesses, challenge your limits, and reveal the parts of you that need strengthening. Instead of viewing pain as a breaking point, it can become a turning point. It can evolve from something that wounds you into something that empowers you. If you choose to approach it with awareness rather than resistance, every struggle carries within it a lesson. Sometimes the lesson is patience, sometimes resilience, and sometimes the courage to walk away from what no longer serves you. When life becomes difficult, it is rarely because you are incapable. It is often because life is preparing you for something bigger than your current capacity. The discomfort you feel is not punishment, it is expansion. Just like muscles grow when they experience resistance, the human spirit grows when it is pushed beyond familiarity. Pain may push you down temporarily, but it never leaves you empty-handed. It leaves you with wisdom, perspective, and a deeper understanding of your own strength. Turning pain into power requires a shift in mindset. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" This single change in perspective transforms you from a victim of circumstances into a student of life. Pain becomes a mentor instead of a burden. You begin to see that every setback is an invitation to evolve. Every disappointment teaches you to set higher standards. Every heartbreak teaches you to value yourself more. Every failure teaches you what not to repeat. When you truly embrace this understanding, pain loses its ability to paralyze you. People often underestimate their own resilience. Many only discover how strong they are when strength becomes the only option they have left. You have already survived moments you once thought were impossible. You have already overcome challenges that once felt too heavy. This means you possess a strength far greater than you acknowledge. Pain simply highlights that strength by pushing you to access parts of yourself you never knew existed. What once broke you eventually becomes the foundation of your courage, your discipline, and your determination. Transforming pain into power also requires emotional honesty. Instead of numbing your feelings or avoiding them, allow yourself to experience them fully. Healing does not happen by pretending everything is fine. It happens when you sit with your emotions, understand them, and use them as fuel to move forward. Pain is raw energy. If you suppress it, it becomes destructive. If you channel it, it becomes transformational. Use your pain as motivation to grow, to improve, and to create a life that honors what you've been through. Some of the greatest leaders, thinkers, and creators in history turned their deepest struggles into their greatest strengths. Their stories remind us that pain is not something to escape, but something to harness. When you decide that your challenges will not break you but build you, you reclaim control over your story. You stop being defined by what happened to you and start being defined by how you choose to rise from it. In moments of darkness, remember that pain is temporary, but the strength it creates is permanent. Every time you turn pain into power, you elevate the person you are becoming. You sharpen your character, deepen your resilience, and strengthen your ability to face the future with confidence. What hurt you today can become the very reason you succeed tomorrow. When you use your pain as a driving force instead of a stopping point, you transform not just your circumstances, but your entire identity. In a world overflowing with distractions, information, and endless options, clarity has become one of the most valuable assets we can possess. Most people fail, not because they lack talent or resources, but because they chase too many things at once. When your energy is scattered, your progress becomes slow. When your attention is divided, your results become diluted. That is why choosing one goal, just one, and committing to it with disciplined consistency can transform your entire life. A focused mind is far more powerful than a busy one. When you direct your thoughts, your time, and your actions toward a single objective, you create momentum that multiplies over time. A clear direction gives your mind a target, and once the mind has a target, it begins to organize everything around it. You start noticing opportunities you ignored before. You make decisions more confidently. You eliminate unnecessary distractions. This alignment between purpose and action becomes the foundation of sustainable growth. You no longer waste your days trying to do everything. Instead, you invest them in doing what truly matters. Every small action becomes a brick that builds your future. Every intentional step becomes a statement of who you are becoming. The mistake many people make is waiting for motivation to arrive or taking action. But motivation is inconsistent. Some days it shows up, some days it doesn't. Consistency, however, is a choice. You do the work whether you feel like it or not. You show up because your future depends on the habits you build today. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence or luck. It is the willingness to take daily steps, even when progress feels slow. Excellence is never the result of one big effort. It is the outcome of hundreds of small efforts perfected over time. When you commit to one goal, you also simplify your path. You gain the freedom to say no to things that do not align with your purpose. This is where discipline becomes your ally. Discipline is not about restricting your life. It is about protecting your focus. It allows you to separate what is essential from what is merely urgent. It trains your mind to value long-term growth over short-term comfort. And when you protect your focus, your progress accelerates naturally. The results may not be immediate, but they are always inevitable. Consistency may seem ordinary, but it produces extraordinary outcomes. A 1% daily improvement may sound insignificant, but over weeks and months, it compounds into something remarkable. A book gets written one page at a time. A business grows one decision at a time. A skill improves 1 hour at a time. When you understand this, you stop underestimating small steps. You realize that the quiet, routine actions you repeat every day are designing your destiny. You become patient with the process and persistent with the practice. Choosing one goal and working toward it daily also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in your capabilities. You stop questioning whether success is possible and start recognizing that success is predictable. The consistency you build becomes part of your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to, because your actions are aligned with your ambitions. This internal shift is powerful. It changes how you show up in your life. In the end, focusing on one goal and taking daily action toward it creates a life of direction rather than confusion, progress rather than stagnation, and purpose rather than chaos. It transforms your days from random activity into meaningful movement. It turns your dreams into plans and your plans into achievements. When you commit to consistency, you no longer wait for the future. You build it, one focused step at a time. Your mind is the most powerful instrument you will ever possess, and how you protect it determines the quality of your life. In a world filled with noise, negativity, and endless comparison, maintaining clarity and inner strength has become both a challenge and a necessity. The mind, much like a temple, demands respect, discipline, and conscious care. When you guard it with intention, you create an inner environment that supports growth rather than destruction, peace rather than chaos, and confidence rather than doubt. Everything you achieve, overcome, or lose begins first within the boundaries of your own thoughts. If the mind is strong, the journey becomes smoother. If the mind is vulnerable, even small challenges feel overwhelming. Negative thoughts often seep in quietly. They don't knock on the door. They slip through cracks created by fear, insecurity, past experiences, or the influence of the people around you. If left unchallenged, they multiply and shape the narrative you carry about yourself and your future. That is why protecting your mind is not optional, it is essential. The words you speak to yourself, the people you surround yourself with, and the content you consume all contribute to the mental atmosphere you live in. Just as you would not allow garbage to accumulate in your home, You cannot allow toxic influences to occupy your mental space. The mind becomes what it repeatedly absorbs. One of the most effective ways to protect your mind is by setting strong boundaries. A boundary is not a wall. It is a filter that decides what enters your mental space. This means limiting contact with people who constantly complain, criticize, or drain your energy. It means being selective about social media, conversations, entertainment, and even habits that reinforce negativity. Your environment silently shapes your mindset every day, and guarding it consciously ensures that you are influenced by forces that uplift rather than pull you downward. When you treat your mind as a sacred space, you naturally become more careful about what you allow into it. Another key element of mental protection is self-awareness. You must learn to observe your thoughts without letting them control you. Not every thought is true, and not every fear deserves your attention. The mind often exaggerates problems, replaying worst-case scenarios and creating anxiety even when nothing is wrong. When you catch these patterns early, you gain the power to redirect your thoughts towards something constructive. Awareness allows you to respond rather than react, to choose clarity over confusion, and to interrupt negative spirals before they become emotional storms. Strengthening your mind also requires nurturing it with positivity and knowledge. Reading, learning, meditating, reflecting, and spending time in silence are powerful practices that sharpen your perspective. A strong mind is built through habits that feed it: gratitude, discipline, mindfulness, kindness, and continuous growth. These practices create mental resilience, enabling you to handle challenges without being consumed by them. A disciplined mind does not panic in chaos. It remains centered. It does not collapse in difficulty. It finds solutions. It does not listen to self-doubt. It listens to purpose. Equally important is the way you speak to yourself. Your internal dialogue becomes your internal reality. When you constantly criticize yourself, you weaken your mental foundation. But when you encourage yourself, acknowledge your progress, and treat yourself with compassion, you reinforce emotional strength. Protecting your mind means choosing thoughts that support your growth. It means replacing "I can't" with "I will learn," and "I failed" with "I am improving." Positive self-talk is not about ignoring difficulties. It is about empowering yourself to face them with confidence. When you guard your mind like a temple, you elevate the way you live. You begin to attract peace instead of chaos, clarity instead of confusion, and strength instead of fear. Protecting your mind is not a one-time act. It is a daily commitment to your mental well-being. And when your mind is protected, everything else in your life begins to align. You make better decisions. You handle challenges more gracefully. You see possibilities where others see limitations. Ultimately, the quality of your mind determines the quality of your life, and safeguarding it becomes the foundation for every dream you pursue. The people you allow into your life shape your mindset, influence your confidence, and contribute directly to your growth or stagnation. Human energy is powerful. It can either elevate you or drain you. Surrounding yourself with the right individuals is not about creating a perfect social circle. It is about protecting your purpose, your peace, and your potential. When you surround yourself with energy, inspiration, and positivity, you move forward more effortlessly. But when you surround yourself with excuses, negativity, and doubt, your progress slows down, no matter how talented or determined you may be. The environment you choose becomes the silent architect of your destiny. Every interaction either adds to your strength or steals from it. There are people who motivate you to become better, encourage your growth, and challenge you to rise beyond your limitations. These individuals do not just support your ambitions. They help shape them. They push you to aim higher and remind you of your capabilities when you forget them yourself. Their presence is uplifting, and their mindset is contagious. Being around people who think big, act with purpose, and strive for excellence naturally inspires you to adopt those qualities as well. This is the transformative power of a positive environment. It doesn't force change, it nurtures it. On the other hand, there are individuals who drain your energy with constant complaints, excuses, and pessimism. They see problems for every solution and obstacles for every opportunity. Their words discourage you, their mindset limits you, and their presence makes growth feel heavier. Without realizing it, you start absorbing their negativity. You begin doubting your own ideas. You hesitate before taking action. You lower your standards to fit into their comfort zone. This is why protecting your inner circle is essential, because the people you surround yourself with can either empower your future or imprison it. Choosing the right company is an act of self-respect. It means valuing your dreams enough to keep them safe from those who do not understand or support them. This doesn't require cutting everyone out of your life. It requires being conscious of how much influence you allow each person to have. Some people can remain in your life, but not in your inner circle. Others deserve greater access because they uplift you, challenge you, and bring out the best version of you. Your circle should reflect your aspirations, not your fears. Surrounding yourself with energy also means being around people who hold themselves accountable. Excuse makers often attract more excuses, but individuals driven by discipline attract improvement and growth. When you spend time with people who are committed to bettering themselves, you naturally elevate your own standards. Their habits influence your own. Their discipline becomes a reminder of what is possible. Their achievements ignite your motivation. Progress becomes a shared experience rather than a lonely battle. Moreover, the company you keep influences the way you view yourself. Encouraging individuals help build your confidence, reminding you that your goals are achievable and your potential is real. Negative individuals often do the opposite, magnifying your insecurities and diminishing your strengths. When you are surrounded by people who believe in you, it becomes easier to believe in yourself. Their faith becomes a mirror that reflects your capability back to you, especially during moments when self-doubt overshadows your clarity. Your environment also determines the energy you carry into your daily life. If you spend your days around people who speak about possibilities, solutions, and growth, you begin to think in the same direction. But if you immerse yourself in gossip, complaints, and negativity, your mindset adapts to that narrative. The energy around you becomes the energy within you. This is why choosing the right circle is not a luxury. It is a necessity for anyone committed to personal growth. Ultimately, surrounding yourself with energy rather than excuses is an intentional choice. It is the choice to grow rather than settle, to rise rather than stagnate, and to align your environment with your ambitions. When you curate the people around you with mindfulness and purpose, you create a network of support, positivity, and inspiration that fuels your journey. The right circle does not just influence your life, it transforms it. Believing in your story before anyone else does is one of the greatest forms of inner strength a person can cultivate. Every remarkable achievement begins in the mind of the person who dares to dream it, long before the world ever recognizes its value. The truth is, no one understands your journey as deeply as you do. No one feels your passion, your struggles, your failures, or your determination the way you feel them. Because of this, expecting others to fully believe in your dreams before you do is unrealistic. Your vision was given to you, not to them. Your responsibility is to nurture it, protect it, and believe in it strongly enough that the world eventually takes notice. When you begin building something meaningful, whether it is a goal, a career, a change in yourself, or a new chapter in life, you will encounter doubt. Some will question your abilities, others will question your choices, and a few may even question your potential. This doubt does not reflect your capability. It reflects their limited understanding of your journey. People tend to judge based on what they can see, but dreams are built on what cannot be seen yet. That is why self-belief is not just beneficial, it is essential. It keeps you grounded when others misunderstand your path, and it strengthens your resolve when external validation is absent. Believing in your story requires trusting your process, even when progress is slow or invisible. Success rarely arrives with loud announcements. It grows quietly, in unseen efforts, late nights, early mornings, failures, adjustments, and persistence. In these private moments, self-belief becomes your anchor. It tells you to continue when nothing around you seems to be working. It reminds you that consistency eventually transforms into results. It assures you that the efforts you make today will become the achievements others admire tomorrow. One of the biggest barriers to self-belief is comparison. In a world where everyone displays their best moments publicly, it becomes easy to feel inadequate when your own progress is still unfolding privately. But comparison blinds you to your own uniqueness. Your journey is not meant to look like anyone else's. You are not walking their path, carrying their struggles, or building their dreams. Believing in yourself means embracing your unique timeline and trusting that what is meant for you will come, not based on speed, but based on perseverance. When you stop comparing and start appreciating your own growth, your confidence expands naturally. Self-belief also demands resilience. Not every attempt will succeed. Not every step will be forward. There will be moments when you question everything, moments when your strength is tested, and moments when giving up feels easier than continuing. But these moments do not define you unless you allow them to. Resilience is built by facing challenges, learning from them, and rising above them with greater wisdom. When you truly believe in your story, setbacks become lessons instead of roadblocks, and failures become stepping stones instead of dead ends. The journey of believing in yourself also involves surrounding yourself with people who support your growth. While your self-belief must be the strongest, the right environment can amplify it. People who encourage you, challenge you, and celebrate your progress help reinforce the faith you already hold within. Their support acts as fuel, but your own belief remains the engine. Without your belief, even the best support system cannot move you forward. With your belief, even minimal support becomes enough to keep going. Ultimately, believing in your story means honoring the vision you hold in your heart, even when others cannot yet see its full picture. It means trusting your capabilities, acknowledging your growth, and staying committed to your goals with unwavering determination. Your story is still being written, and every day you have the power to shape its direction. When you believe in yourself deeply and authentically, you unlock a level of strength and clarity that allows you to rise above doubt, silence fear, and pursue your dreams with confidence. Your belief becomes the foundation on which every achievement stands. My dear friends, as we begin 2026, let us rebuild not just our careers, not just our relationships, but our inner world. Let us choose growth over doubt, discipline over excuses, and faith over fear. Remember, every sunrise is proof that no darkness lasts forever. Your new beginning is waiting. Your new chapter is calling. And this year, yes, this very year can become the most beautiful rebuild of your life. Thank you